first of all, before we get started, what is that Game Boy thing in your background?
You like it, don't you? I thought you'd like that. It's just a metal sign that says, oh, hit myself in the head. It's a metal sign that says Game Boy. The Digitizer crew had this, and I don't know if you can see it up at the top over there. There's a Sega logo as well.
Oh, that's amazing. I don't know why. As you said that, I turned my head to look up into a top corner, but that was pointless. Yeah, that's really awesome. Is that like official Nintendo, or is that...
I'm pretty sure it's not. I mean, there's nothing on here that says it is. And no, I'm looking at the quality. I mean, it's one of those things, if you get really close to it, it doesn't look the best. But I suppose if it's really
it looks
high up...
awesome, man. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is basically... This is the second interview that I've done. And
Who beat me?
It was Neil from Retro Man Cave.
Okay, fine.
But I'm doing it now. I got distracted in the last interview by two little balls of paper, and for the whole time I'm sort of like looking down in the corner at these balls of paper, and I look like the most antisocial guy ever met. So I'm going to make more of a conscious effort to articulate things and use hand gestures to look more interested. So hopefully this one will go slightly better. So Dan,
Sounds good.
A lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now.
It is. Yes, there is.
And we're not going to bog down on the politics of it all, because to be quite frank, I'm pretty clueless on it. And secondly, I don't think people want to hear about that all the time from every single person ever. So we're going to just talk more generally. So first of all, although we're not going to talk about the politics, how is it affecting you and your current situation?
It swings and roundabouts. So obviously, we've taken my son out of school. Who's 4 years old. My 2-year-old daughter actually has childminders on Thursdays and Fridays. We've obviously pulled her away as well, but primarily because she's had a cough for about a week. We don't think she's got anything bad. She's had a tickly cough for a while now. There's no other symptoms, but obviously to stay safe, we're isolating the whole family. So that's the bad. But the good, there's a lot more people on YouTube, and that's kind of my job.
Yeah, that is. It seems like it's wrong to say that YouTubers are going to benefit from this situation, because obviously each individual is definitely under a different circumstance to one another. Just because on YouTube the channel might be doing well, it doesn't necessarily mean the person's doing well. So it's a scary time to celebrate. But it is obviously. There is going to be more traffic, but I wanted to do... excuse me. I wanted to do... right, we'll cut that. No, we're not. It's the second channel. We'll keep it in. Right, I wanted to do like a little sort of series of videos on the second channel, just because there's not a lot of pressure. It's pretty liberating. I don't really care about what goes up on the second channel in terms of whether it's super high quality and looks good next to all my other stuff, because all it is just me having a bit of fun. First of all, to distract myself and give myself something really liberating and free to do. And second of all, hopefully to provide a little bit of entertainment for the wonderful people on the YouTubes. But what about you? What are you doing differently? Is there going to be more Slopes Game Room stuff?
I'd like to think so. I've actually started doing exclusive Kick Scammer stuff behind the scenes, and that started because I did a video related to the stuff that's going on in the world at the moment. Yeah. But if you say that C word, there's a new C word you're not allowed to say now. If you say that C word too much on YouTube, your videos get taken down and possibly worse. So I don't want to risk it. I've hidden it away. So I've made an entire video, and I've got another video going this weekend. I'm about to do another one today. So yeah, a lot more content. Definitely, whilst there's kids running around the house asking me questions about Star Wars and whatever else, and whatever 4-year-olds are into.
To be honest with you, so they're worth answering.
Yeah.
And in terms of like your content, you're pretty fortunate in the sense that you do extensive research on sort of intangible, is that the right word, sort of objects. So it's more so like knowledge and research, as opposed to like reviewing specific objects that you might find difficult to obtain throughout this period of time.
That's true. I didn't think about how this is going to affect you compared to me, because everyone thinks that all of us YouTubers are in the same boat. And I'll tell you what, I mean, behind the scenes, us YouTubers, Elliot, because you're in there, we have like little groups that we're part of that we help each other out, give each other advice. But the reason we do that is because every single person in these YouTuber groups are all so very, very different, even down to the way that we earn money, the way that the way we create our videos, what we need to make our videos are all so incredibly different. So yes, for me, I'm pretty much, I'd say over 95% of my content is all software based. So I'm talking about things from old video game franchises, or I'm talking about things that I can easily get hold of, and I don't need to have sent to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer that my content is going to be different. I don't know if people are going to be going out to the post office. I've ordered loads of stuff on eBay because obviously that's where
I'm waiting on a few things as well.
80% of my stuff comes from eBay, so I've ordered on like a bunch of stuff. So I'm waiting for that all to come down, and that will give me content. But we don't know how long this is going to go on for, so I might have to start changing my the videos I make a little bit. But that's why I'm loving this second channel, man. Like, it's actually super exciting for me, like, to just make content that I know that only like a few thousand people are gonna watch and gonna check in on, but that is amazing for me. Like, it's just cool to be doing, and this is what it was like at the start. And it's not necessarily that this is completely gone, and you can tell me how you feel in the set. But it's like I know that there's more of an expectation now, so I've got to meet certain demands. Whereas on the second channel, anything goes. I don't give.
That's why I've got a second channel. It's you get to a stage where you have to be careful what you put out on your main channel. You've built a brand. People expect a certain type of video from you, and sometimes you just want to let your hair down and just like fuck it. Let's just chat about crap.
Yeah, and I'll keep that swear word in, mate, because the second channel is there's no rules. Yeah,
absolutely, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Every so often we got to chill out and maybe play some games as well. Us YouTubers play some video games.
We've got to make that happen. Imagine we could get like the whole UK retro lot to just hop in some sort of game and
we all play like 4-on-4 Worms or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Hopefully you got enough stuff on your shelves to be able to talk about. I'm sure you probably do. One thing I have noticed for me, I mean, it's the same with most YouTubers in the sense that, you put a video out, it goes boom, it goes popular, and then, it will die down depending on how well, how much traction it has. For me, though, it's always the older videos that tend to bring in the most views anyway, as a whole. Because, I mean, I've got over 500 videos on my channel now. A lot of them are based on the heavy history of certain franchises. So I still see, when I look back at my top 10 to 15 videos, I still see things like the history of the Vega Plus and the Streets of Rage. That Streets of Rage Complete History video is 5 years old now, and it's still always roughly in my top 15, in or out, roughly.
I always see that video on my newsfeed, like, all the time.
Yeah.
Because I often clear my view, my watch and search history on YouTube, just to see what I might be missing from watching, like getting lost one day, going down a rabbit hole of Indian mud hut builds and stuff that you just end up watching. So I clear it, and I always see that one popping up.
The thing for me is I'm always looking up stock footage, or I'm looking up a particular thing. So I did a video on this Superman homeless guy from America for my Kick Scanner series, and the amount of Superman footage I had to look up for that, and then for weeks all I got was like, check out this 1950s cartoon on Superman, look at this on Superman, this on Superman, and look at this homeless guy, and it's just like, you'd expect my feed to be nothing but gaming. But there you go.
So what about entertainment? Because I know you've recently built your sort of entertainment garage, your man cave. I don't know what you're calling it. But that is literally like slope heaven. Like that's got your record player in there. It's got...
It is and it isn't.
Dance Revolution.
Yeah, I've got an arcade machine in there. So... Again, swings and roundabouts. It's amazing to have that place, but at the moment it's a little bit mouldy. We was expecting, to put these walls up straight on the brick and it'd be fine, but the brick is only one brick thick. So water's getting through. So it's not that. I've moved all of the shelves forward, so there's big gaps now. So the room looks a lot smaller now because I've moved them away from the walls. But no, it's cool in there. We still go in there. When all of this is calmed down, I've already got the materials coming. Like I say, in months or so, to basically put over the top of that. We're getting some breeze stuff in there, all of these layers to clean it all up. But we still go in there. We've got the big projector that comes down. Me and my mates, before all of this kicked off, we were playing a lot of Cuphead in there. Going working our way through Cuphead. It's pretty awesome to play that on the big screen. I'll say maybe get you down, Elliot, and we'll play some like on the big screen Micro Machines or something. I'm not sure.
I really need to get off Jersey. Like living on an island is a little bit claustrophobic sometimes, and all my friends are in the UK. So And also, as you know, for me, expos and stuff don't really interest me that much. So it's not. I love going over and seeing all of you guys, but expos and that sort of stuff just isn't really for me. So
it's all about the meeting up with people, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like I was planning to go over and hang out with Peter and Stuart, and that obviously fell through because of what happened.
It's happening, yeah.
So that was going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, we have to make do with the situation.
Yeah,
definitely.
Everyone has to adapt.
After all this has calmed down, we'll meet up, because we met up. You didn't come to the Christmas do that we had, did you?
No, I couldn't. There was a reason for it. I can't remember what it was. I think was it related to, there was a death in my family. I know that happened recently. I can't remember if that was around that time.
You couldn't get anyone to look after your kids. You had to pick them up.
I think that was it. It was something around those lines. It was
unbelievably short notice and unorganised, like we all are. So.
As always.
Absolutely.
All of us YouTubers, we're all in this retro gaming scene, but I can guarantee all this click, the circle jerk, as they call it, whatever you want to call it. But every single one of us treats it all so differently. It's so important to just like chat to each other and just like, so that's how you're doing. Most of the time you don't take on the advice, because like I say, everyone's got their own thing and how they do stuff, but it is quite cool to just catch up and see how somebody else is dealing with stuff, especially when something like this happens, which hopefully will never happen again in ours or anyone else's lifetime.
I mean, at the end of the chat with Neil, and it hasn't gone live yet, so I don't know what the response is going to be, we had a little chat about the politics, and as I said at the start, I haven't got a clue on any of it, but I just wanted to hear his thoughts on the UK, because like it's important to get the right balance of not talking about it, and then also not acknowledging it as if we're trying to like cover it up and pretend that it doesn't exist, because it is real and it's going to affect everyone. And not that you or I are A-class celebrities who really do live a different lifestyle to everyone else, but we've got stuff to do. We've got families, we've got old people in our families, we've got people that we know who are vulnerable, and so it is a scary period of time.
My Mega Drive collection, everyone thinks I've got like fucking hundreds and hundreds, and I've got almost 100, maybe, but that's about it. Like, you know what I mean?
I got almost 100.
But I'm saying that's not a lot, considering, I honestly did sell the majority of my collection to make it a full-time YouTuber. There's a little story.
One thing that I didn't talk about with Neil, actually, the obviously the halting of production and also the delaying of releases, because obviously what's going on right now is not the best.
Well, like movies and whatever.
Well, and movies and games and stuff, but what about, not that it isn't remotely important, but at least it's important to some people watching on my channel, the what are they calling it? The
Xbox Series 1X and the PlayStation 5?
Don't care about any of that. Oh, what? No, dude, this is bad. I've completely forgot the name of it. This is embarrassing. The company that makes the NESs, the NESs and the Super Nintendo. Analog Pocket. The Analog Pocket. That was meant to be released later this year.
You are well up for an Analog Pocket. When I see the Analog Pocket, I think to myself, Elliot wants one of these.
Dude, can you imagine? It looks like if Apple designed a Game Boy. Like, it's what we all wished for, like, a few years ago. Like, imagine the metal Game Boy with a beautiful high-quality screen. And
I want it, but I have so few Game Boy games. Like, I've got more Game Gear. What I want to get, obviously, when they come back in stock, is the attachments for the Mega SG, and then I want to get myself the Super NT. Is it the Super Nintendo one? Yeah. I'll get the Analog Pocket, but it's gonna be one of those things like, this is amazing, and I don't play it much because I don't have many games.
But you've got like Neo Geo, Neo Geo and also Game Gear are both Sega stuff that there's Sega releases on them, obviously. So that Neo Geo is
So I haven't looked into it too much. Do all of these cartridges work on that, or is it just Game Boy?
No. So it's literally going to have adapters to play. It's going to have an adapter, which is... they haven't actually released a lot of information yet about it, but
right.
As far as we know, you can plug in your Game Boy games. But what we also know is they're going to have support for the Neo Geo Pocket, WonderSwan. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, because the WonderSwan cartridge is way longer than a Game Boy one, but apparently there's going to be adapters so you can plug everything in. Hopefully it's not emulation. Apparently it's like FPGA hardware.
That's the hard thing I've got to get my head around, because... Yeah. Have they got to have a chip for every little one that they do?
But then you have to buy that separately. So if you want to play Neo Geo, you have to buy the Neo Geo one.
Wow.
And if you want to play Game Gear, you have to buy the Game Gear one.
It's going to be the most hardcore one, isn't it?
Dude, it's going to be... I mean, if anyone is going to do it well, it's going to be analog, for sure.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. I love playing on my my Mega SG. It's a sexy little system. I don't know, like... For me, I think I'll get the Pocket. But I probably won't, because I'm actually quite excited for the next gen system. So I'm probably going to save and get those instead.
Yeah.
I've got a Retro Freak, which is emulation, and that does take the cartridges of a Game Boy Advance. Oh, actually, I've got a fair few Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be interested in some kind of 3DS thing, because I just don't really see how they'd ever be able to do anything with like that sort of thing. Obviously, you'd have to. That's a whole new system, but yeah.
It'd be really cool to have a I know that there are you can buy mods, like pre-modded DS consoles that allow you to capture video and stuff, but to stream DS games, I think, is something that a lot of people want to do. I certainly would love to do that. Imagine streaming a DS game, because DS was... I grew up with Game Boy, obviously. My first console was the Game Boy Advance, and then I had a Game Boy SP, but then I started collecting Game Boy Color when I was like 10, 11 years old.
Right.
But the DS was my that was the thing, you know. I had every DS that came out, like the original, and then the DS Lite a few years later, and the DSi. That would be the only thing I'd ever ask for Christmas.
For me, it was always like, when these systems come out, I'd always buy them. I'd buy a couple of games, and then I'd really struggle to spend the same amount of money on a handheld game than I would on a full price game. But now I look back, they're the games I want to play the most.
That's because you were an adult. I was a kid, man. All I cared about was getting the games. I didn't care how they got them.
I bought the Game Boy Advance on day of release. I left my ice cream factory job at the end of the day at 2:00, because I started really early there, and I got the bus to Maidstone, and I went and picked up my Game Boy Advance, and I got it with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and I want to say, what else would I've got with that? I can't remember, but yeah, that was definitely one of the games I got.
Yeah,
amazing, my little like clear shelled Game Boy Advance,
Glacier or whatever it was.
I definitely need to get a modded Game Boy Advance without a shadow. But I was saying that if that's the case, I might as well get this analog system actually.
Well, I might be able to help you out with that one. Getting a modded Game Boy, we could sort something out.
There we go.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much for coming on the channel, and I really, really hope that everything is okay with you and your family throughout this pretty scary, daunting time.
And to everyone else as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to hear that you're going to be creating regular content that will keep your subscribers entertained. And cheers, dude. I'll probably, depending on how long this goes on for, we might do another one and check in and see how everything's going. Absolutely.
I think it's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Do another one a few weeks later, or a month later, or something like that.
Okay.
Thanks very much, dude.
Catch you later.
See you later.